say Højlund. Like Højlund looks like it's going to happen now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm excited about Højlund to Man United.
I'm not gonna say anything crazy, but
go on.
this is a step down. This is a step down for Man United on what was expected of, like they even expected this summer transfer window. Like you go from Harry Kane level, like that level of player, to like Højlund. I don't know, man. Like Højlund is it's a risk. It's either he could bang and he could not bang. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and say, that oh my god, it's all done and he's crap and he's gonna suck at Man United. I'm not gonna say any of that, but I don't think, I really don't think this is like an unbelievable signing or a great signing or anything. The one thing is, from Man United's perspective, is because their strikers have been so inconsistent and so like kind of up and down, like the Martials and these players. Like anyone is a little bit of any upgrade is kind of an upgrade, if you get what I'm saying. So even if like Højlund scores 15 goals, he still is. I mean, okay, maybe 15 is a bit too less, but like if he scores 16 Prem goals, 17 Prem goals, everyone's gonna look at him as a success, to be fair. Like everyone's gonna go like, yeah, this is a good record for him. So I just don't know, man. Højlund's a massive risk. Ten Hag is kind of all over the place, trying to be Klopp, trying to be Pep. It just makes no sense. Like
what do you mean? What do you mean he's trying to be Pep and Klopp? What's he doing that's like you two?
He's signing Mount, who's clearly a Klopp style type of player. Onana's like more a Pep style kind of player. And I think Ten Hag is confused a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm saying this is genuine, objective criticism. I honestly think Ten Hag's confused. I really don't think Ten Hag knows what he wants to do. I'm being dead serious right now. I really don't know how he's going to implement this whole thing. I'm not even doing agendas like Højlund, Mount, and then you sign Onana, which are kind of polar opposites in playing style. The reason why you sold De Gea to begin with is because Onana is a ball-playing keeper, which shows that you're going to play a more possession-type system. But Mason Mount doesn't fit a possession-type system. He's a lot stronger when it comes to counter-attacking. And then you look at Højlund, you're like, okay, how's he going to fit next to Rashford and Anthony? So it's kind of all over the place. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's just confused.
Yeah, I don't think he's confused at all. I mean, he wanted Mason Mount 4 years ago. When Mason Mount was playing in the Netherlands. So this is a player that he's always rated. He believes he can get something out of him that maybe Chelsea haven't been able to advance on, as an example. You're confused about how we're going to play, but you were confused at the beginning of last season. I put the tweet up a few months ago about your prediction about Man United and how the style of play won't develop. United will be nowhere near the top 4. We won't win any trophies. So you said the same thing last year and got it completely wrong. So, like, forgive me for, I know you're speaking your straight facts, but allow me to clap back a little bit here. You're just projecting hope.
Of course.
You're projecting your hope, which is that it doesn't work for Man United. Why I like the hope.
I don't think it's hope.
No, you are hoping what you're saying is right. You don't believe it. You're hoping.
No, I do. I actually genuinely believe it. You know me, Terry. I genuinely believe it.
No, I really do. I disagree.
Forget the fact that I support Liverpool and my predictions and all this. Just from a football perspective, do you not agree that Onana and Mason Mount are like 180 degrees polar opposite type signings?
No, I don't.
But Onana is a ball-playing goalkeeper who's going to allow you to play possession style, while Mason Mount is a counter-attacking player at his best.
At the same time, but again, when we play counter-attack against 50, 60, 70% of the league, we will play possession-based football against them because we did that last year. But we now will do it with a better goalkeeper and a better midfielder in Mason Mount. We're also linked to signing somebody else alongside Mason Mount, as in not to play alongside him per se, but a player to come in as well. So let's wait and see who that is. That will be a more holding midfield player. So that's the bit you're ignoring in the story, that there's another piece of the jigsaw to come in. Equally, there are times where you need a goalkeeper with the passing range of Onana for the counter-attacks when you get pressed high. Someone that can dink a 30-yard ball into the middle to Mount, where there's loads of space for him to run and turn into, in the same way Inter did in parts against City in the Champions League final. So, yeah, I don't believe for a single second that they're complete polar opposites and they can't work together. But what I like about the signing, what I really like, is I've been asking for this for a lot of Man United fans lie. There's a lot of the Baller FC guys who for years have said online, why do we do No, legit. And you know, when I say no, they do, they lie. They lie, right?
I know for a fact that he can't stand those guys. I know.
No, but they lie.
He's
They lie.
talking about Pogba FC, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
Baller FC, Pogba FC,
Martial
right? They
FC,
lie
ladies and
though. They
gentlemen.
lie because for years online, and you've heard them say this in spaces. They'll say, "I just want Man United to start signing the non-obvious signings, the players that are not everybody else is linked to." And I actually agree. I love a player or two that's left the field that nobody was expecting. The problem is when you do that, there's a likelihood that it's a player that you weren't thinking about or you don't like. Typically, what those people actually mean is, I don't want obscure signings or non-obvious signings. I want the players I want. The problem is with Baller FC. Do you know how wrong they are and how regularly they're wrong? Baller FC. It's because they judge football purely based on how a player makes them feel. And half the time that's nothing to do with their football. It's to do with the social element of the player. So how the player talks, the clothes they wear, the way they behave online, the way they carry themselves. It makes them feel a certain way. Some people are like that with singers and actors. It's more of a social thing than it is, and a fashion thing, more fashionable than it is football. They're wrong about so much. I don't
Based on
rate.
ability,
I'm
those are
almost,
not true.
honestly, I've almost got to the point now, where I stopped listening to their football opinions because they are so far wrong. It is unbelievable, right? These same Man United fans said last year, Donny will overtake Bruno in the Man United team this season. Watch. Didn't happen. They all
Oh,
said,
I heard that with my own ears.
you also heard Martial was going to go to this next level. You also heard that Rashford will be benched on the left-hand side for Jadon Sancho. You heard all these things. Oh, yeah. There's no way Luke Shaw gets back to his best. He'll be out of the team. There's no way AWB finds his way back into They got so much wrong. The only thing I believe they got right was their view on David De Gea. But strangely, they're the ones now out defending David De Gea for the treatment of the football club. It is radio rental. It is radio
You
rental.
can
It
never win.
really, really is. You can't.
I think the biggest problem for me with that type of, because I get into arguments with these guys a lot of the time. I think first of all they confuse aesthetically pleasing to watch with actual ability. Because I'll use my own player so people don't get rattled. I don't think Mo Salah's pleasing to watch. I don't think Mo Salah's aesthetically pleasing to watch. That does not mean that he can't pass, he can't dribble. Like those are two different things. He looks a little bit awkward doing it. Like it doesn't look as nice as a Hazard, for example, but that does not mean he cannot do it. When you look at, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the statement I'm about to make, I feel like I need to apologize after saying it, but I genuinely was having a conversation 2 days ago in which someone said, I'm not even gonna say their name, Pogba, based on ability, sits on the same table as Zidane. And it's just like certain statements people make, it just makes you question your inner soul, whether it's like right when it comes to football. Like, and for me, I've always said, look, when it comes to ability, yes, ability is fantastic, but it's about application of that ability. If a guy has 8 out of 10 ability, but plays 8 out of 10, 90% of the time, he's a very good player. But if a player has 10 out of 10 ability, but plays a 6, a 5, a 4, a 7, an 8, and is inconsistent, then you can't really be having them conversations. So, like, it's just this whole based on ability. Ability matters, but effect matters, how effective you are, consistency matters, even injuries matter when comparing players. Like you need players who are available. Now when it comes to this whole the thing you said regarding the whole Mason Mount thing and all of that, you're right. United fans do say they want to sign maybe sometimes players that no one knows about, quote unquote, which is because they do say that Hoyland would fit that bill. Because no one, like, let's be real, no one went to the summer going like, oh my god, we should sign Hoyland. The only thing with these signings is they are a little bit of a risk because, like, when it comes to players like that, they either bang or they don't. I'll use my club again as an example, just so people don't get rattled. Naby Keita failed. Naby Keita is a flop, right? He's kind of like an unknown commodity. Takumi Minamino, I wouldn't say he had the best Liverpool career. The same with Divock Origi, the same with so many signings. But when you go, for example, to Mo Salah, to like a Robertson, to a Wijnaldum, players like that, they banged. Not necessarily people's first choices. So you get it this way and you get it that way as well. But I still stick by it with Man United, my objective analysis that has nothing to do with it.
I understand that. On the whole, based on ability, but your football opinions aren't based on ability solely. They never have been, never will be. Ability is a very important element, but so is availability. So is your fitness, your stamina, your awareness, your consistency, your outputs, your trophies. All these things are what you judge people on, not just let's boil it all down to the one thing my guy's really good at. It's a nonsense. And again, I would take 11 Bruno Fernandez's at Man United over 11 Pogba's, of course, respective to their positions, because I think Pogba on ability and on the eye definitely better than Bruno. But Bruno has been more consistent in our shirt and delivered more. And if you have 11 players that deliver consistently versus 11 players who deliver one in every 3 games, you're going to win more. And that's what, for me, growing up, that was what it was all about. And
100%.
you always know a Baller FC person generally when they're like, oh, they mention their favorite footballer as a kid, and it wasn't a player that played for their team. That always stands out to me as a red flag about the way they support. Like, I love players at other teams, but my favorite players were always my players because the way they made me feel was what they did for my team. If you're loving a player of a rival's club more than your own, worries me about how you view football. But that's just me. It's a big red flag for me.